Snow fell like ash from a ruined sky on the night Seraphina Vale was meant to become a wife. Lanterns had been lit across the chapel grounds, their glow trembling in the wind, but no bells rang. No choir gathered. Instead, a rider arrived just past dusk, his horse lathered, his expression sealed shut by duty. He carried a letter pressed with the royal sigil. Seraphina stood in her ivory gown, hands clasped, hope still warm in her chest, when the seal was broken. The words were brief, accusatory, final. Her betrothed's name was scratched through with red ink. Her family crest 3 silver lilies had been crossed out as though it were a stain. By decree of the crown, House Vale was accused of treason. The marriage was dissolved. The bride was to be removed before dawn. The guests were dismissed without explanation. Servants would later swear the music had stopped all at once, as if the night itself had drawn breath and refused to release it. Seraphina did not scream. She did not faint. She stood very still as the future she had been promised collapsed into silence. Before sunrise, she was taken through a side gate of the estate. No carriage waited, only a covered wagon and 2 guards who would not meet her eyes. Her wedding cloak was placed around her shoulders, not for warmth, but for decency. That, it seemed, was the last kindness owed. The road stretched white and empty beyond the city walls. When the wagon stopped, the guards helped her down, turned the horses, and left without a word. No document was given, no direction offered. "Walk south," one guard muttered at last. "Or don't." Then she was alone. Seraphina stood in the falling snow until the sound of hooves vanished. Only then did she understand. She was not meant to reach anywhere at all. She was meant to vanish, to freeze, to become a rumor softened by time. Duke Alaric Rowan of Ashcombe rode that same road before full daylight. He had spent months at the border quelling unrest in the king's name, and he longed only for the quiet order of his lands. War had taught him the cost of obedience. Peace demanded it without applause. He saw her just beyond a bend, collapsed near a frozen ditch, pale against the snow like something already claimed by winter. He dismounted at once. The gown told him who she was before her face did. No peasant wore silk so fine. No criminal was cast out so carefully dressed. When he knelt, her lashes fluttered. "Don't," she whispered, barely conscious. "Please, don't send me back." Alaric closed his eyes. He knew this cruelty. He had enforced it before. The law was clear. So was the consequence of breaking it. Alaric stood between 2 certainties: leave her and remain the king's favored servant, save her and invite suspicion that would never loosen its grip. He did not speak his decision aloud. He simply lifted her, wrapped her in his cloak, and set her before him on the horse. They did not ride toward the city. They turned into the forest. Ashcombe Keep rose from the hills like a thing carved from old stone and stubborn will. Seraphina was brought through a servant's postern gate before the sun was fully risen. Only 2 people saw her arrive. Alaric told no one her name. In his report to the crown, he noted nothing unusual on the southern road. A bride lost to winter required no further accounting. Thus, the lie was born. Seraphina woke to a firelight and an unfamiliar stone. Her body ached with cold remembered. She sat up slowly, hands clenched in the blankets. Alaric stood near the hearth. "How long?" she asked, her voice steady despite everything. "Before they came for me?" "Longer than you need," he replied, "shorter than you deserve." He explained the truth without softness. She could remain only if she did not exist. No name spoken, no servants trusted, no wandering. Seraphina listened, then nodded. "I have already been erased once," she said. "I can endure the quiet." News arrived like slow poison. Her father executed. Her mother was imprisoned. Her family estates seized. Each word was cut, but Seraphina did not break. Whispers followed Alaric. Why had he returned early? Why had he avoided court the price had begun to collect? Weeks passed. Serafina learned Ashcombe's hidden ways, the narrow stairs behind tapestries, the passages servants forgot. She learned when to move, and when stillness was safer. She watched the power flow unseen. Alaric watched her transform grief into discipline. She asked questions about law, about trade, about alliances. She was not waiting to be saved. The council demanded proof of her death. Alaric forged documents, sealing them with practiced precision. Each lie weighed heavier than armor. Nobles filled Ashcombe with laughter. Serafina watched from the shadows as those who signed her death warrant toasted peace. She memorized their faces. A visiting lord lingered too long near the gallery. Alaric intercepted him with polite menace. Suspicion sharpened. That night, Serafina spoke plainly. "I will not hide forever. If you rise," Alaric said, "I will fall." They accepted this truth together. Serafina studied ledgers and letters. She traced the path of coin that led to her family's ruin. Anonymous truths reached the court. Minor lords fell from favor. The ground shifted. Alaric was summoned. Loyalty was demanded, sealed by marriage. He left for court. Serafina remained behind, knowing discovery would doom him. At court, Alaric played obedience. He smiled. He waited. 2 provinces were stripped from Ashcombe. The message was clear. Disguised, Serafina left the keep carrying proof of innocence. Guards searched for Ashcombe. She escaped through stone and darkness. Evidence shattered the lie. Silence followed. A minister fell. Truth survived partially. Alaric was exiled from favor. His power diminished. Serafina chose a new name and purpose. Together they rebuilt Ashcombe as refuge. Quiet resistance replaced obedience. Serafina stepped into daylight. The Duke paid everything. The bride survived. And the price became legendary.